Mercedes and Red Bull this year are my top two teams to win it. Mercedes should be number one for me. But here's my thing. I don't want to say they're going to win this year because it's going to get to a point where they're going to lose. Red Bull has now in my opinion, two competent drivers. Last year they had Alex Albon, which I thought he would have been good. He just doesn't, this is the way Christian Horner says it in the show. He doesn't have that FU attitude. He's too nice. He's too hard on himself to actually, in my opinion, be that number two guy at Red Bull. I really wanted to see him win I really wanted to see him do well with Red Bull. This is a guy that I was supporting because I liked him. I liked how he's that quiet guy. His backstory, in my opinion, I related to it a bit. And he's just somebody that I felt like I can cheer for on a team that I shouldn't be cheering for. So, but he didn't have that FU attitude. And if we're being real, I feel like they got an upgrade in Checo Perez. What am I trying to say? Last year, he won the... Oh my God, why can't I remember the name now? Oh my God. Hey, Google. What Grand Prix did Sergio Perez win? Did she not listen to me? Hey, Google. What Grand Prix did Sergio Perez win?
2020 Sakir Grand Prix.
Sakir. I was trying to say... Hey, Google. Hey, Google. Shut up. I love you, but shut up. The Sakir. I was trying to say Sahik for some reason. I can't, or Sarik. I couldn't for the life of me get the word out of my mouth. But yeah, he won the Sakir Grand Prix, and that was actually a really good race for Racing Point too. He won it. Stroll came second, I think it was. And actually Esteban Ocon got podium, so that was basically an all Racing Point podium, or at the time when Ocon was racing with them, Force India, but Racing Point. That was a really good race for him. He's had really good races before. This is somebody that I think is ready to go to a bigger team and should have been on a bigger team in a long time ago, if you ask me. I would have liked to see him with... Honestly, there's a lot of things that I would like to see going into this year. I would have liked to see him be... Honestly, I wouldn't have minded him on Ferrari if it wasn't for Sainz. Sainz, I think, is going to be a good driver for Ferrari, but between Checo and Sainz, I think I'd still go Sainz. But I think Checo's gonna do well with Red Bull, and I'm gonna be excited to see him as that number 2 driver. There's no way he's even the number 1 driver, but he's gonna be that good number 2. I think he's gonna actually be able to get them points. He's gonna be able to finish races with them. I think he's gonna do well. He's gonna be somebody who can get the points for the constructors. That's why I think Red Bull can win it this year for the constructors. Now, I also think Max Verstappen is going to win it. He's going to win his first championship this year. He's going to be a world champion this year. And here's why. It's bound to happen. And if it doesn't happen this year, it might be a little while before it happens for him. Because after this year, there's going to be rule changes. The rule changes are supposed to be for this year, but the rule changes for 2022 are going to be more supporting the smaller teams. It's going to be a smaller salary cap. Like, there's going to be a salary cap, and it's going to be small, so the smaller teams, so it can support the small teams. Do I think that that Mercedes and Red Bull, Ferrari or even McLaren, whoever can't win, like the bigger teams can't win it after this year? I don't think that. I just think that it's going to be tougher for the bigger teams to win, and it's going to be easier for the smaller teams to win after this year. That's basically why I think Verstappen's going to win it. Plus, he's a fantastic driver. He's a great driver. I think the Red Bull is bound to win this year. But I don't have all the confidence in the world with that because Mercedes is still a thing. Lewis Hamilton is still a driver. Valtteri Bottas is still a driver. Now, do I think that they're that good because of them or because of the car. It's the same thing that... Now, here's my thing. I'm afraid to say that Lewis Hamilton isn't as good as he is because of the car. Because you can say that for a lot of drivers. There's a lot of times in F1 where rule changes benefit a certain team. So it's hard to argue that. At the end of the day, I'm still going to say Michael Schumacher is the greatest driver of all time, even though he doesn't have as many world championships as... No, wait. Why can't I remember how many he won? It's 6 he won. He broke the record, I think, this year. Lewis Hamilton broke a lot of records this year, a lot of Michael Schumacher's records this year. Is he the greatest driver? I think it's arguable that he is. I think it's also arguable that you can say that Michael Schumacher is still the greatest. It's just how it is. I'm a biased Ferrari fan. That's how it is. I can't just say that Lewis Hamilton is the great. I can just say that because I have a lot of respect for him as a driver. He is a fantastic driver. I'd be happy to say that he is the greatest driver of all time because he broke Michael Schumacher's records. It's not like he didn't break them, and it's not like he didn't break his records for most Grand Prix wins or most championships, or I think it's also most poles that he broke. I can respect that he broke the records, so I will say that he is probably the greatest driver of all time. But I'm still going to say Michael Schumacher. It's getting off of my point. I'm just very excited. I just love talking about Michael Schumacher. But it's going to be tough for Red Bull to win this year. You still got Mercedes. You still got that Mercedes. And you still got a Mercedes with Valtteri Bottas and Lewis Hamilton. That's still led by Toto Wolff. Toto Wolff is one of the smartest minds on the pit wall. Actually, I'd probably say the smartest. You still got Christian Horner, but he's one of the best minds on the pit wall right now. So it's tough to just pick Red Bull. I think that they can win it because they have a great strategist in Christian Horner. He's a I can't remember the name. Wow. This is really bad. But they're led by Christian Horner. Max Verstappen is a great young driver. He's one of the best young drivers. Is the best young driver right now. But can you really say that he's young? Because we've been saying that he's young for like the last 5 years, I'm pretty sure. But he's one of the best. I'll just say he's one of the best drivers on the grid right now. And the car is good. That's usually a good thing for, a race team. But you still got Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes. So if it's not Lewis Hamilton this year, my pick is Max Verstappen or even Valtteri Bottas because it's bound for him to win this year. The thing is why I don't think it's going to happen is because Mercedes always favors Hamilton. Really, the only way I don't think that Hamilton would be the best driver at Mercedes is if he DNFs basically all the races or almost all the races or just somehow sucks this year. Because if he's racing and the car's 100%, they're going to pick it. They're going to favor him. That's just how it is. Unless Bottas somehow outperforms him. But at the end of the day, even if he's outperforming them, if the car's still 100% and if Hamilton's still 100%, they're going to favor Hamilton, in my opinion.